I descend from Scotland, Ireland, Germany, and Cherokee Native American. Although Native Americans are likely to be lactose intolerant because they were not introduced to lactose until the 15th and 16th century, lactose intolerance is a recessive gene. My ancestors from Scotland, Ireland, and Germany have been using cows and milk for centuries. The recessive trait is taken over by the majority of my ancestors being from Scotland, Ireland, and Germany.
So my family is from all different parts of India. My father, his mom is from the northern part of India, and his dad is from the southern part of India, while my mom, she is from the western part of India. My father's mother is from Amritsar, which we saw a video on yesterday, and the rest of her lineage hails from the same city, and none of her ancestors were known to be lactose intolerant, hence why one of the reasons my father wasn't. My grandfather on my dad's side is, like I said, from the southern part of India in Madras. None of his ancestors were lactose intolerant either. As for my mom's side, most of her family hails from the city of Ahmedabad. No one on her side is lactose intolerant either. Fortunately, no one in my family's lineage was lactose intolerant, and therefore I wasn't either. I was a bit lucky though. Apparently 70% of South Indians are lactose intolerant, while 30% in North India were. So it was kind of a weird balance.
Some questions from an AP Bio student. Are there any cultures today that are still predominantly lactose intolerant? Yes. In Asia, especially Eastern Asia, many of the people are still lactose intolerant. They incorporate for 90% of all those lactose intolerant. It is also predominant in southern India, like Kunal said earlier. Another question from an AP Bio student. Why would being able to incorporate milk into one's diet be an advancement for a human being at the time? During the time when Englishmen were coming over to the Americas, Cherokee Indians had to incorporate cows into their diet. Incorporating cows into their diet made it easier for them to survive with the Englishmen bringing in all these dairy products and cows.
Alright, so I'm here to talk about the AP themes and the push and pull factors relating to this project. One push factor for my parents was the lack of opportunity of work and good education in India. While they heard about the United States, it was the land of opportunity and everything here. So that was a pull factor for them coming here. As for the AP themes, migration and demographics were a big deal, as my parents and like many other immigrants in the United States migrated from their respective homes to this country, and they differentiated the demographics and the different types of population here.
My parents and my grandparents are from America, and none of which are lactose intolerant. I know that my great-grandparents are from Russia, and they are also not lactose intolerant. My family before that was from all over Europe and also from Israel. And in fact, Jewish people are one of the highest percentage of lactose intolerance in the world. About 80% of all Jewish people have lactose intolerance, and this is most likely because not many of them have been exposed to dairy products. So as I said before, my great-grandparents were from Russia. And relating to theme 4, they came to America because they heard that it was economically thriving at the time and they wanted to make a better life for themselves. And relating to theme 5, my great-grandmother was Jewish while my great-grandfather was Christian, and that affected their social structure when they got to America. The question from one of the AP Bio kids was, does being closed off from other cultures have an influence on lactose intolerance? And it does. So if you're in a culture that is majoritively lactose tolerant, then there's a very little chance that anybody from that culture would be lactose intolerant, and the opposite is the same. If you have a group of people that is majoritively lactose intolerant, there's a very little chance that anybody would be lactose tolerant.
So another AP Bio question was, does lactose intolerance affect part of the culture of the country, since it affects the types of food a population can eat? So first of all, food is part of the culture, and yes, it does impact the food and the resulting culture. As in India, in the southern part, there are like very few dairy products, and maybe that's the reason why there's 70% lactose intolerant, while in northern India, there are many dairy products in their foods, like cheese, milk, stuff like that, butter, and they're only 30% lactose intolerant. So yes, it does impact the culture and the food.